It's been all over the news today that Justin Bieber unfollowed his wife on social media, leading to so much speculation about the state of their marriage. And
I hit a little bit of an emotional breakdown because I thought marriage was gonna fix all my problems.
Hailey, did you or Kanye saying about their nose?
And
Yes.
I have heard
It is a cult.
that like the top members of that cult get like girlfriends. And I have heard, I'm kind of like a blind item freak.
Is Chris Pratt associated with
He's in
Hillsong?
Hillsong. I heard he was supposed to marry Hailey Bieber, but they gave her to Justin.
Her dad dragged her out of bed in the morning. And basically was like, you know, I think because she was raised Christian, and I think they found out that, like, I think it was an arranged marriage, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my goodness. You won't believe the crazy drama that's currently involving Justin and Hailey Bieber. The shocking part is that it appears that Kanye West may have been correct all along. Remember how everyone thought he was just stirring up drama when he kept calling out Hailey, saying she was actually Justin's handler? That's especially true when he revealed her alleged plastic surgeries and her rumored affair with Drake. But wait until you hear what's happening now. With all these recent reports about Justin and Hailey's marriage possibly failing, let me tell you, the red flags in their relationship are absolutely astronomical. Drama to cover a whole documentary series, from their dubious origins to that dubious proposition. Just 2 months after his breakup with Selena, Justin has been looking quite unhappy. Will you pop the question to Selena Gomez? You two make a great pair. That grin is visible, but it's just the beginning. There is so much to unpack here, so let's get started on this scandalous story. Darlings, what's really sending shivers down everyone's spine is the alleged involvement of these mysterious celebrity churches and the shocking claims that Justin was trying to expose industry predators targeting young artists. But then, and this is where it gets really dark, he was abruptly silenced and allegedly assigned a handler to keep him in check. Hailey Bieber is very religious, and her father is extremely religious. Justin Bieber is also quite religious. Are you joking when you suggest that there is a well-known, extremely religious cult that they all belong to? Well, I believe a documentary about Hillsong is about to be released because, one by one, the scandals of that church's top leaders are coming to light. I believe that you don't have to believe in conspiracies to see that something is seriously wrong with Justin Bieber lately. In fact, fans have been watching with increasing concern because, to be honest, Justin hasn't seemed like himself in a long time. And everyone has been giving his marriage to Hailey a lot of side-eye.
Happy holidays, Jay. Happy holidays, Justin.
It's not gonna happen today.
Oh,
You know when?
have a good one, Justin.
Justin, I'm gonna keep you in my purse.
Hey.
A little bit later, maybe? Jay, maybe later? Justin Bieber? All right, enjoy your walk, JB.
Allow me to share the most juicy details of their recent social media drama. Fans believe that Justin and Hailey are essentially disparaging one another through their posts. But it all began when this talented TikToker noticed something interestingly. Justin shared an Instagram story with a song by Yas playing in the background. If you're familiar with the song, you know it's all about keeping things lighthearted and devoid of any emotional attachment. So it's scandalous, right? But wait, Hailey apparently responded with her own musical message. She shared lyrics from sizes 30 for 30, specifically the line that reads, "But if it's F me, then it's F you." I'm referring to the drama, but just when we thought things couldn't get any more. Intense Justin abruptly unfollowed Hailey on Instagram. He later claimed that his account had been hacked, but honey, no one is buying that excuse. If Justin Bieber's Instagram account had been hacked, would someone simply unfollow Hailey without any leaks or crazy posts? He could have also simply claimed that it was an accident or subtly followed her, but instead he made a big deal out of it, which only increased suspicion. All right, guys, everyone is talking about this right now, and I didn't even see. This is a bold move, in my opinion. If you look at page 6 of any celebrity gossip or news source, you will see that Justin Bieber is unfollowing his wife, Hailey Bieber, on Instagram. I think he unfollowed a few people, I believe Diddy Usher and now his wife, and people are saying that there is trouble in paradise, saying that right now, he and his wife are not getting along. I don't think that his decision to unfollow his wife was an accident. Rather, I think that it sent a message to everyone. I'm curious as to what that statement is. As you are all aware, Hailey and Justin recently had a baby, but that doesn't mean that everything is perfect. Now, Darlings fans are certain that this is only one piece of a much larger puzzle surrounding Justin and Hailey's marriage. Let me tell you something incredibly heartbreaking. People think Justin has been frantically pleading for assistance ever since he married Hailey. Then, consider this. Where's the passionate, vivacious Justin that we all knew and loved? He has completely lost his musical spark and hardly interacts with his loyal fans anymore. At every public appearance, he either appears utterly miserable or completely detached from reality, and what's even more worrisome is that there is growing conjecture that he may be under the influence of some serious medication. Good night, and get ready for. This shocking information comes from leaked documents from last year, which show that Justin signed with TriStar in November 2022. TriStar is run by Lou Taylor, the same person who oversaw Britney Spears' terrible conservatorship. But wait, it gets even more shocking. It turns out that Lou Taylor is close to the Kardashians, and there are rumors that she was involved in an attempt to place Kanye West under conservatorship as well. An individual who wasn't Christian showed up at my house and told me to come over, and then 30 minutes later, I was in handcuffs on my way to the hospital. One of the things people do these days is to try to discriminate against my thoughts and intellect. This is where things get really scary. Both Britney and Kanye have made disturbing claims that their handlers forced them to take large amounts of lithium, a potent drug that can drastically change a person's mental state. The implications are terrifying, and when I asked them how much lithium they wanted to put me on, they took 4 days to respond. Because they were embarrassed, he put me on lithium the next day. Suddenly, he stopped me from taking my regular medications, which I had been taking for 5 years. Lithium is a very strong medication that is completely different from what I was used to. According to the evidence, Justin hasn't been himself since he said, "I do" to Hailey. He has also stopped performing at red carpet events, which seems to be a sign that history is repeating itself. Totally checked out of life, it's heartbreaking to watch. I remember struggling, feeling emotionally overwhelmed, and talking to her, not knowing how to say certain things and feeling kind of frustrated. A lot of things have happened in my life, and I believe there was a point when I was just so overwhelmed that I was crying and acting like a normal person. I think that when I look at things on the internet or in the media, people ask on the internet, "Why is Justin upset?" As if they don't give me permission to be upset, "I don't understand," or "I don't have permission to be human and cry." Every day, a lot of people break down in conversation with their mom, wife, or girlfriend, but they don't have cameras recording it, so people ask, "Is he okay?" He's having a mental breakdown. But hold on to your seats, because this rabbit hole goes even. Immediately after signing with Lou Taylor's company, Justin Bieber made the shocking decision to sell his entire music catalog for $200 million. Since selling your master is typically a last resort for artists, why would one of the biggest stars of our generation suddenly decide to cash out like this? More importantly, who whispered in his ear to make this decision? To put it in perspective, $200 million may seem like a fortune, but it's practically nothing in comparison to the value of Justin's catalog.
I remember just struggling. I remember feeling like emotionally just overwhelmed and talking to her, not knowing how to like communicate certain things and just feeling kind of like frustrated. You know, there's been a lot of things that have happened in my life, and I think there was just a point in my life where I was just so overwhelmed. I'm just being a normal person and and crying. I think when I'm in the media, or I look at things on the internet and people are like, Justin's upset. Why is he upset? It's like they don't give me permission to be upset. I don't have permission to be, you know, human and shed tears. And there's so many people every day who are in a conversation with their girl or their wife or their mom and they break down, you know, but they don't have cameras capturing it, you know? So people are like, is he okay? He's having a mental breakdown.
Just take a look at what transpired with Taylor Swift's masters. Justin's former manager, Scooter Braun, made an incredible $360 million from the sale of just 6 of Taylor Swift's albums. So why did Justin settle for what is essentially pocket change? Was this his decision, or was there someone working behind the scenes? What's even more suspicious is that when Justin hired Lou Taylor and sold off his music legacy, all of these insiders began spreading rumors that Justin was leaving the industry. Let me share what an insider told Radar Online. Justin hasn't felt right with the world for a while, and his fame weighs heavily on him. According to the insider, his therapist advises him to put his career aside if it's making him unhappy. They also said that Justin feels the pressure of the music industry isn't good for him, and that all he wants is to disappear with Hailey and enjoy his money. But here's the thing that doesn't make any sense at all. To think that Hailey Bieber, of all people, would voluntarily leave the spotlight is simply unbelievable. This is the same Hailey who was caught staging paparazzi photos several times and then had the gall to appear on a podcast called Sea Climbing. She hates paparazzi so much that she wants to hurt them physically. When I have paparazzi following me, I have flashbacks of getting out with a baseball bat and literally destroying their car as if it makes. But wait, Justin's loyal fans have discovered something even more unsettling. There are some really eerie connections between Lou Taylor, Hailey Bieber, and these enigmatic celebrity churches. Do we talk about it? I think it's time if you're looking at this chart and you see some names you recognize. I'm just so irritated that one of these days I swear to God I'm going to get out of the car with a baseball bat and it could just be right here. As I always say, everything I'm going to say is alleged. I don't know these people. I don't want to know these people. I'm just some on the internet, and to be honest, you don't have to believe me. This is because all of these celebrities have been connected to the Hillsong Church. Oh, and we can't forget one more Miss Essoy herself. The church, if you don't know, is the mega church of all mega churches. It has a very dark past, and we're going to discuss it today. Founded in Australia in 1977 by a crusty, dusty Frank Houston. In 1999, his son, Brian Houston, would take over as the new leader. In 2003, they opened a church in New York City, and one of the former assistant pastors would go on to essentially run that church. This is Carl Len, who is the spiritual leader and best friend of all the celebrities. In 1999, a woman confided in 2 church pastors that Frank had ejaculated her son. I don't think she realized the chaos that would follow, so in court, it was claimed that Frank had dated a boy between the ages of 7 and 12. The victim would later come forward to provide additional information, claiming that Frank was a family friend who would frequently visit their family and would spend every night in his room between the ages of 7 and 12. He claimed that by the time he reached puberty, Frank lost interest. The victim did not tell his mother until 8 years later, and he did so because his mother wanted him to attend counseling with Frank to improve his behavior. He claims that when he first went to see Frank, he discovered him doing something really naughty under his desk. He left, and when he returned home, he told his mother. She replied, "You might ask," and I quote, "You do not want to be responsible for turning people away from the church and into hell." It took her 20 years to tell those 2 pastors before Frank formally confessed, which he did. The victim claims that Frank called him and asked him to meet him at. He would then offer him $10,000 and ask him to sign a McDonald's napkin to accept it. The victim also claims that Frank told him that he needed to apologize to him because he couldn't face God with this hanging over his head. I'm not saying that what he did was horrible, traumatic, or disgusting, but he needed to save his own soul. A few months later, he still hasn't received any money, so he contacts Brian, Frank's son, who is now the church's new leader. I'm so sorry for having to include this picture. I feel like he's looking through my soul. It's a really scary picture, and I feel like he knows all my secrets. He asks Brian, "Hey, why hasn't my money arrived?" And Brian responds, "You know it's your fault, you him." The victim said that this hurt him, and he even asked Brian if he was also AE by his dad. Brian became aggressive, yelling and swearing, and he hung up the phone. 2 weeks later, the victim received the check. As if that weren't suspicious enough, Lou's husband Rob Taylor founded another dubious celebrity church called Calvary Chapel. This is where it gets really dark because, according to a New York Times report, Jamie, Britney Spears' father, was regularly transferring money from Britney's accounts to Calvary Chapel while she was in conservatorship. She was actually on the board at Hillsong Church, the same megachurch Justin began attending after marrying Hailey. Now, let's talk about Hillsong after the lead. Carl Len, Justin's former friend and pastor, was accused of unethical behavior. Justin and Hailey declared their intention to leave, but they soon joined Church Home, another enigmatic congregation. The shocking connection is that Judah Smith, the lead pastor at Church Home, is reportedly very close to Hailey's father, Stephen Baldwin. Yes, the same Stephen Baldwin who arranged Justin and Hailey's first meeting, according to A. Stephen allegedly asked Judah to help convince Justin to marry Hailey in a viral Reddit thread. Remember that time Justin joked on Ellen about being in an arranged marriage? Everyone laughed at the time, but now it doesn't seem funny anymore. I think it's because she was raised as a Christian, and I think they discovered that. I think it was an arranged marriage. I'm pretty sure I'm not looking back now. I'm like it was definitely an arranged marriage, like they set this whole thing. Here's what's really raising the alarm. Justin's fans are becoming more and more concerned that Hailey might be one of those handlers that Kanye warned us about. For example, in the case of Britney Spears and Sam Asghari, he was allegedly paid to pretend to be her husband and control her. Additionally, there is the mystery surrounding Bianca Tori, Kanye's current wife, whose marriage timing raised a lot of red flags. In fact, Kanye himself issued a chilling warning if he ever disappeared.
Should we talk about it? I think it's time. I think it's time we talk about it. If you're looking at this chart and you see some names you recognize, it's because these are all celebrities who have been associated with the Hillsong Church. Oh, we can't forget one more, Miss Sober herself. The church, if you do not know, is the mega church of all mega churches. It has a very dark past, and we're going to talk about it today. Like I always say, everything I'm about to say is alleged. I don't know these people. I don't want to know these people. I'm just some bitch on the internet, and frankly, you don't have to believe me. The Hillsong Church was started in 1977 in Australia by crusty old dusty Frank Houston. In 1999, Brian Houston, his son, would go on to become the new leader. In 2003, they would open up a church in New York City, and one of the previous assistant pastors would go on to pretty much run that church. This is Carl Lenz. He is all of the celebrities' best friend and spiritual leader. In 1999, a woman would go on to confide in 2 church pastors, letting them know that Frank had essayed her son. I don't think she realized the craziness that would ensue after this. So in court, it was alleged that Frank had essayed a boy between the ages of 7 and 12. The victim would eventually come forward to give more details, stating that Frank was a family friend. He would come visit their family regularly, and every time he came by between the ages of 7 and 12, he would visit his room every single night. He stated that Frank lost interest by the time he hit puberty. The victim did not tell his mom until 8 years later, and the reason he told her is because he states that his mom wanted him to go to counseling with Frank to improve his behavior. He alleges that the first time he went to go visit Frank, he found Frank doing something really nasty under his desk. He did not stay, and when he got back home, that's when he decided to tell his mom. Her response, you might ask?